Okay, we're back with our Islamic tile using our first or last name. So last week, what we did is we folded the paper into 3 triangles. 1, 2, 3, without opening them up. Once you opened it up, you have 8 sections. In one of the triangles, you wrote your name in all capital letters where you're kind of squeezing the letters into the edges here. So that's why the S and the C are smaller, because it's the edges of the triangle. Then I outlined this so I could see it really clearly. And if you're in person, I'm giving you a piece of tracing paper where you can see both sides easily. If you're virtual, you're going to be using a white piece of paper. You put this on top of where the name is. I just have to get this right. And what I did last week is I traced my name on the tracing paper once. And then what I did was I turned it around on the other side and I put pencil on this back side too. You need pencil on both sides of this tracing paper, okay, to create a carbon. And the carbon is what's going to make the name show up here and here and here and here, etc., etc. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this where my name originally was. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it. I'm going to flip the tracing paper over, and I'm going to hold this down without moving it. Okay. If it starts to move around on you, you might want to tape it down. Okay. I'll have tape in class, or you could get tape from home if you're home. And you're going to hold this down without moving the tracing paper or your regular paper. You're going to put the pencil on this pretty hard. And you're going to take your time. You're not going to rush. You have to make sure that it's in that empty triangle that is right next to the first one that you did. And then when I lift this up, voila, it shows up. Little hard to see, but it does show up. So you can take a Sharpie and you can Sharpie that. Okay. So let me actually grab a Sharpie, which I forgot to bring with me when I was doing this. But guess what? I have 2 right here. So I want you to be able to see what I did very clearly. So here is my Sharpied name. And that's the mirror image of the first one. Now I'm going to do the mirror image again for part 3. You're going to end up doing this 7 times. So remember, you're only drawing the name freehand once. And then the rest of the time you're doing your drawing, you are going to use the tracing paper, because the name should look exactly the same as it did with the first one. Okay, so now we have number 2 done. Okay, put this down where it was. Flip it. Line it up so the S's are the same. The O's are the same. The L's are the same. The R's are the same. The A and the C. All mirror images. And make sure it's in triangle number 3. Okay, which it was. And now I'm going to start tracing again. And you're going to keep doing this. So you make sure you flip the tracing paper. That should give you the mirror image, as long as you're working with the triangle that's right next to the last one that you did. I know it's a little confusing, but if you're at home and you're in person, you can watch this video a few times and rewind and get to steps that you might be confused about. Okay, this is my last time here. And you might get a little bit of a hole in the tracing paper here and there once you keep tracing it. No big deal. The important thing is that it shows up. And this does show up. Okay? So we'll continue next week.